What if you have been measuring your life completely wrong? What if the reason so many ambitious people feel strangely empty is not because they are lazy, ungrateful, or broken, but because they are winning at the wrong scoreboard? A lot of us are taught to treat money as the final proof that life is going well. Make more, buy more, achieve more. Then one day, you are supposed to feel fulfilled. But what if that day never comes? What if real wealth is not just about what sits in your bank account, but also about how much control you have over your time, how deep your relationships are, whether your mind has purpose and peace, whether your body is strong enough to enjoy your life, and whether your money is serving you instead of quietly ruling you? That is the big shift at the heart of the 5 types of wealth. This is not a book about rejecting money. It is a book about putting money back in its proper place. Because a wealthy life may be supported by money, but it is defined by everything else. Part 1. Designing Your Dream Life. The book begins with a brutal wake-up call. The author is told to do simple math on how often he sees his parents, and how many times he may have left before they are gone. That moment exposes something painful. You can look successful from the outside and still be quietly losing the life that matters most. This first part argues that many people fall for what you could call the arrival trap. We tell ourselves, once I get the job, once I buy the house, once I hit the number, then I will feel settled. But when we get there, the finish line moves again. So the problem is not just effort. The problem is the scoreboard. If money is the only thing you measure, money becomes the only thing you optimize, and that can turn life into a kind of hidden defeat. You win bonuses and lose presence. You win status and lose peace. You win career progress and lose time with the people you love. So the book replaces the old scoreboard with 5 forms of wealth: time, social, mental, physical, financial. And here is the key idea. A good life is not built by maximizing one of these while destroying the others. It is built by designing your life deliberately. That is where some of the book's best tools come in. First, the wealth score. Instead of asking only, how much money do I have? You ask, how am I doing across all 5 forms of wealth? Second, the life raiser. This is a simple sentence or principle that helps you make decisions when life gets messy. A personal rule that keeps you oriented. And third, your true north. Not speed, direction. Because moving fast in the wrong direction still takes you away from the life you actually want. One of the strongest lessons in this section is that life has seasons. In some seasons, you may push harder on career. In others, you may prioritize family, healing, health, or meaning. The goal is not perfect balance every day. The goal is to stop drifting and start choosing. So part 1 asks a hard question. Are you building a life that looks impressive, or one that will actually feel rich when you live it? Part 2. Time wealth. If part 1 breaks the old scoreboard, part 2 makes the new one feel urgent. Because time is not just limited. It is disappearing while you are busy making other plans. The book makes this painfully real by showing that our time with different people peaks at different stages of life. Time with parents and siblings drops sharply after youth. Time with children is intense for a short window, and then fades. Time with friends shrinks. Time with co-workers dominates huge portions of adult life. And time alone tends to rise as we age. In other words, some of the relationships that matter most to you are already in their final chapters, and you may not even realize it. That is why time wealth is not just about productivity. It is about awareness, attention, and control. Awareness means facing the fact that your time is finite. Attention means directing your energy toward what truly matters. Control means having more say over how your time is actually spent. This is where the book makes a powerful distinction. Being busy is not the same thing as being effective. A lot of people are running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. They are overwhelmed, distracted, scattered, always reacting. The answer is not to squeeze more into the day. The answer is to get ruthless about what deserves your time. That means asking, what creates energy in my life? What drains it? What really matters in this season? What am I saying yes to that quietly steals time from what matters more? This section's not to be missed advice is simple. Do the math on the people you love. Treat attention like a precious asset, and stop giving your best hours to things that do not deserve your life. Because once time is gone, it does not come back as a bonus, a promotion, or a second chance. Part 3. Social wealth. This part may be the emotional center of the entire book. The question here is unforgettable. Who would be sitting in the front row at your funeral? Not who knows your name. Not who likes your posts. Not who envies your lifestyle. Who would actually be there? That question gets to the heart of social wealth. The book breaks it into 3 parts. Depth, your closest, strongest bonds. Breadth, your wider network of friendships, community, and belonging. Earned status, the respect that comes from character, not display. One of the strongest ideas in this section is that relationships are not just emotionally important. They are life-defining. A lot of people chase admiration through visible signals, the watch, the title, the car, the image. But the book argues that bought status is fragile. Earned status is different. Earned status looks like trust, reliability, presence, integrity, being the kind of person others genuinely want in their life. Another powerful lesson here is the warning about loneliness. Modern life makes it easy to be constantly connected and still deeply alone. You can message all day and still feel unseen. You can optimize for money, tax, geography, or career, and wake up one day realizing you built a more efficient life, but not a more human one. And then there is the section on parents and children. Those early years with kids are short. The days feel long. The years vanish. The book does not say everyone should quit their job. It says you must understand the trade-offs you are making. Because many people miss the magic years assuming they will reconnect later. Sometimes they do. Sometimes the moment has already passed. The core message of social wealth is this. Relationships are not a side benefit of life. They are the texture of life. If your success costs the people who matter most, it is probably too expensive. Part 4. Mental wealth. This may be the most inward-looking section. Its central question is beautiful. What would your 10-year-old self say to you today? Would that younger version of you be inspired, confused, proud, disappointed? Because somewhere along the way, many people stop living from inner truth and start living from outer pressure. They inherit scripts. Be practical, be realistic, choose safety, keep up, don't disappoint people, and slowly they lose contact with what they actually want. Mental wealth, according to the book, rests on 3 pillars. Purpose, growth, space. Purpose means your life has direction and meaning, not necessarily a grand public mission, just something that feels truly yours. Growth means refusing to believe you are fixed. You can learn. You can adapt. You can become more than you are right now. And space means creating room to think. This is one of the most important lessons in the book. Most people do not fail because they lack information. They fail because they lack space. No silence, no reflection, no stillness, no room for ideas to breathe. So they stay trapped in reaction mode. The book pushes you to make room for walks, journaling, deep thinking, quiet rituals, and moments where you are no longer consuming the world and can finally hear yourself again. The advice here that should not be missed is this. Do not build a life so noisy that you can no longer hear your own mind, because purpose rarely shouts, it usually whispers, and if you never create space, you will spend years living someone else's version of success. Part 5. Physical wealth. This part asks a question that instantly changes perspective. Will you be dancing at your 80th birthday party? Not watching from the chair, not wishing you had taken better care of yourself. Dancing. That image captures the whole point. Physical wealth is not mainly about aesthetics. It is about capability. It is about whether your body supports your life or limits it. The book organizes physical wealth around 3 pillars: movement, nutrition, recovery. Move your body consistently. Eat mostly whole, unprocessed foods. Sleep and recover well enough for that effort to compound. Simple, not easy, but simple. One of the strongest truths in this section is that health is often treated like a future project. People say, I'll focus on my body after this promotion, after the kids are older, after I make enough money, after life calms down. But physical wealth does not really work like that. It compounds, just like money does. And neglect compounds too. The body you live in later is being built right now. This section avoids gimmicks and returns to basics. Not extremes, not punishment, not obsession. Just daily actions repeated long enough to change your future. If there is one lesson from this section to hold on to, it is this. Your future self is watching what you do today, and one day your habits will decide whether you participate in life fully or sit on the sidelines. Part 6. Financial wealth. Now the book returns to money, but with a wiser frame. Not, how much can you accumulate? But, what does enough mean to you? That question matters because without a definition of enough, more will never feel like more. It will always feel insufficient. Financial wealth in the book's model has 3 pillars: income generation, expense management, long-term investment. Earn well, spend below what you earn. Invest the gap patiently. That part is familiar. But the deeper point is what makes this section powerful. Money is a tool. Its job is to support the other forms of wealth. To buy freedom, reduce stress, create options, support relationships, protect your health, fund a meaningful life, not become the life. The book also adds an important twist. Your liabilities are not just financial. They also include your expectations. If your lifestyle and desires rise faster than your means, you can make more and more money while still never feeling wealthy. That is why comparison is so dangerous. There is always a bigger boat, a bigger house, a higher number, another level. So the smarter path is not endless escalation, it is clarity. Know what enough looks like for you. Build income with skill. Manage spending with intention. Invest for the long term. And remember one of the book's strongest financial lessons. One of the best investments you can make is in yourself. Your knowledge, your health, your mind, your skills, your energy. Because money should help you become more alive, not more trapped. So what is the real message of the 5 types of wealth? It is this. A rich life is not built by accident. It is built by measurement, honesty, and choice. Measure only money, and you may spend years becoming poorer in every other way. Measure time, relationships, purpose, health, and money together, and you begin to design a life that actually feels whole. This book does not ask you to stop being ambitious. It asks you to become ambitious about the right things. Ambitious about being present. Ambitious about loving well. Ambitious about protecting your mind. Ambitious about building a capable body. Ambitious about using money wisely instead of worshipping it blindly. Because in the end, the wealthiest person in the room may not be the one with the highest net worth. It may be the one with control over their time, deep love in their life, clarity in their mind, strength in their body, and enough money to support what matters. That is not a smaller ambition. That is a bigger one. And maybe the real question is not whether you are doing well by the world's scoreboard. Maybe the real question is, when your life is over, will you be able to say with peace, I built the kind of wealth that actually mattered? Real wealth is bigger than money. If you enjoyed this kind of deeper book summary, then like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.